Tishy and me. We're ready for tonight's book study, Rise of the False Gods. And it is about transformation through illumination. And the days that we're living in right now are such a perfect example of how important it is to get that illumination. I'm just going to try to move this a little bit. It's a little close. I did get my new tripod, so I will be going back to my phone, which does a pretty good job of doing the videos. A couple days, soon as I get a breather, a chance to check it out. So anyway, tonight our chapter is A Time to Heal. Now, if this is your first time this book study, I invite you to go to YouTube and just type in Rise of the False Gods, Alicia Leslie, and you can see all the videos we've done because we're actually getting kind of close to the back of the book about now. We're almost done. It's a little while yet, but we shall see. Now, one of the things I just want to talk about real briefly before we get into this, when I say transformation through illumination, the challenge we're having right now, maybe always, is ignorance. Ignorance and not lack of truth. We need to be able to think well. Unfortunately, over the past number of years, as a matter of fact, I think since cell phones came out, it started to get worse and worse. And the cell phones offered more programs, and there's more. And I know, I'm going to tell you right now, I know there's lots of you going to disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. You can disagree all you want. I'm not here to debate. I'm just going to put out my thoughts to you, and you can either accept them or let them go. But we have become very dumbed down. And what we are greatly missing right now is the ability to do critical thinking and to have conscious awareness, um, common sense. Common sense is so lacking today, and so we're walking around in the dark, and it's not always easy to come into the light. But if we are going to save ourselves and save the planet, um, even save the world, we're going to have to do it through illumination, through truth, through justice, through freaking common sense and critical thinking. We must teach critical thinking because the people today, so many people, all the followers of, I can't find, I have a big smudge on my glasses and I can't find my eyeglass cleaner. Um, we have got just anyone that falls for a conspiracy theory lacks the ability to do critical thinking because those claims are so outlandish and with no source. I was thinking about that because if you look up things like a particular group that begins with Q, that Q is the person who is the source, okay? And nobody knows who it is. So people are ready to fight and to die for and to kill for someone they don't even know who it is. It's absolutely insane. Yes, Laura says, I agree with you. The young generation is out of touch with reality on some issues, on many issues. And many, even adults, they don't understand the basic workings of government. They don't. Hey, you know what? When I was supposed to be in civics class, I was too busy thinking about boys. Yes, I was. But I will tell you something, if anything, in these, first of all, I had a basic understanding. I listened to people. I used critical thinking and common sense in voting. But when you take away critical thinking, and through the media, the books, the not the books, because not that many people read the books, but let's say the books, the video games, uh, and the conspiracy theories. The first thing that happened, and it's not like it was some kind of a conspiracy theory that this happened. It was sheer laziness that people slid into, abdicating their responsibility as citizens to be a part of the government. Instead, we were apart from it, and just put other people in charge and let them do it. If the people who were supporting fascism, that were fighting for it, wanting to overthrow the government, really understood what they were going to do, they have a very hard lesson coming. And in all honesty, we don't know if enough of us are gonna wake up to shift the tide. We don't know if there's other attacks that are planned or anything. What do? We get grounded, we learn, we live, and we share these principles of truth, practice critical thinking, and for heaven's sakes, use our common sense. There's times we all drop our common sense. Why do we drop our common sense? Because we fall into, um, personality, emotions. We get really emotional about something. And what happened to all that truth we were spewing off, you know? So I just had to say that right now, because I really think it boggles my mind, but I think schools are going to have to start to teach common sense and critical thinking. And I think we need to find a way for, grown-ups, for those of us who are adults, adult education, need some real, maybe, government for dummies. We need ways to understand how this works and understand, uh, what will most benefit all of us, not just what will benefit one or two, but will benefit all of us. All right, gonna hop off the soapbox right now, I believe. Let me see, was there anything else I wanted to jump on about that? Probably not. Okay. So we're beginning, like a third of the way down on page 177. I want to give you a little heads up, by the way. If you do not have the print copy of the book, you will probably, want to think about ordering it. You can order it from Amazon. You can get it on Kindle, but some of the exercises you may want to, work with a paper and pencil. But that doesn't mean that you can't. Uh, you can't do it from Kindle. You can, and if you've got Amazon Prime, it's free. You have to understand, I am doing this for passion and for sharing these principles of truth that are gonna help all of us, and they are a means to saving and creating a world that works for all. Very important in these days, because we are hanging by a thread, and that's a fact. Okay, today we're talking about a time to heal. One of the unity teachings claims whenever we declare something for our life, everything that is unlike it comes up for healing. See, let's say we ask God, God, give me more patience. What do you think you're going to get? You think you're going to get a lesson through which you will need to practice patience. If you say, I'm going to get back in shape, you're going to have all kinds of things coming up for healing. They're coming up for healing because they are the things that are keeping us in our negative state. That's why they come up, so we can pay attention and heal them. What came up 2 weeks ago on the Epiphany? Epiphany, by the way, means like the aha moment, the arrival of wisdom, when the three kings arrived at the manger. It says it in the story, but yet it may not be a true story, I.T. cross historic, but it is a truth story because it tells the truth. And when wisdom is drawn to Christ, okay, to that spark of divinity, we're like homesick for heaven. So wisdom is drawn to that. And so what I'm hoping is on January 6th, there was a wake up call, a moment of wisdom. And we are scared enough to stop and see, how did that happen? Because we were within a breath of losing our democracy. And I think the people that are challenging it have no idea what they will lose if they lose it. What is their source of education? What do they know about how the government really works? You know, we oversimplify things that we don't know anything about. But I'm going to tell you something. If I ever need brain surgery, I want a brain surgeon. I don't want somebody who is following some cockamamie anonymous person that's telling them how to do brain surgery. You know, science deniers, you need brain surgery? What kind of science do you want to follow, right? Okay, can't get off that path tonight. Okay, so when we declare something, we may declare that we are prosperous, and immediately we have a financial challenge. That means that this process is working, because what needs to be healed, our error thoughts, feelings, habits, and beliefs, come right into our face so we can face them. Because if we never face them, we will never heal them. There's some people that are all rose-colored glasses and swooning with, you know, the beautiful, beautiful words of the poet laureate today, and of, you know, Biden and oh gosh, the priests and Harris, and beautiful words, beautiful music, beautiful concepts. But the ones who would take us down, they're still there. One would hope that we can, excuse me, work through critical thinking and awareness and common sense to find a way to overcome it. I mean, the main way to overcome ignorance is with enlightenment. But if somebody doesn't want to be enlightened, we have to work on our own to create enlightenment, to draw others to us. Laura says January 6th was a blessing in disguise because it warned them to be better prepared for today. That is true. And then there's tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. One of the commentators today was talking about that this isn't just a problem in America. It's happening in other countries where democracy is being challenged. So you say, how could something as fair and as good as democracy be thrown out? And this is my theory on it, okay? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is my theory. And the theory is that democracy brought us so much good, and we took it for granted, and we stopped participating, and we got into self, me, I, my. We got into that, and we got weak. We got mushy. And we have to get strong again. And it has to start with our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and our actions. And it's the same type of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions in every aspect of our lives. You know how they say someone's not playing with a full deck? Well, right now we're not playing with a full deck because somebody was trying to play 52 pickup, and there's little pockets of cards hidden here and there that decided they're their own deck. How do we get all the cards back in the deck so it will work together? Therein is our challenge. Excuse me. Okay. So this I just went on in this thing about how we decide we're going on a diet, and then it seems like everybody's having a birthday. I used to work in a big what do you call it, call center for a number of years. I worked for a bank in the call center, and I'll be darned the minute I'd say I am going on a diet, because there's nothing like sitting on your tush for 10 hours a day working that will make you put on weight. I'll be darned if every time you didn't turn around, there was a flippin' birthday cake in the back room. Oh, yeah, you try to ignore that chocolate goodness with frosting and, try to avoid that. It's very hard. And probably if you weren't on a diet, you could avoid it a lot easier than when you are. Why? Because what has come up for healing? Your self discipline, your ability to say. So, see, what we're going into now, whether it's our individual life, our personal life, being confined, being alone a lot, it really can play on you, really tense, stressful. So, whether it's that, whether it's the political issues, whether it's COVID, the whole thing, it's the same principles apply. Our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and our actions. And we must align them all with truth and spirit and all that is good. I think it's in the Bible. I know it's in the Bible. Um, and I can't remember who said it. It's just a brain fart at the moment. But he said, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. And that's what I call all of you to do. Whatever faith group you belong to, if you're a scientist and you don't want to do the God thing, then you can say, the law is like principles. It's like the principles that you practice in science. It all works. You do this, that happens. You count on it. If you couldn't count on science to build a house, well, you'd be one of the three pigs, you know. Okay. So what we have to know is we cannot procrastinate. We cannot be in the wrong kind of denial. We talked about denial yesterday. The denial is not denying a thing exists. It's denying that it has the power greater than God in our life. So that's why I really keep to that scripture, not by might nor by power, but my spirit, saith the Lord. So when I start to get, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? I have to get grounded in that, because that's being grounded in truth. So we all want to live spiritual principles. I don't know if you're familiar with the 100th monkey story, which you can look up online, because I don't want to take up our time tonight going into all of that. But the bottom line is that there were these monkeys, and they were being observed by scientists, and every day the scientists would throw them sweet potatoes, and that was like what they liked to eat. So the monkeys didn't like one monkey. They say started with one monkey who didn't like the grittiness of the dirt on the sweet potatoes, and started to wash them. Well, next thing, the monkey taught her babies to wash their sweet potatoes, and then it caught on with other members of the monkey pod, whatever you call it, and and then one day they discovered that monkeys that are in no way associated with the monkeys here jumped over, and on another island, monkeys were washing their sweet potatoes. So that's called the 100th monkey. What it says is when it's like if you had a one of those weight balance scales, and you had beans and you're dropping the beans into it, and it goes this way and it goes that way, and then you get to the tipping point. When you put enough beans in this side, you get to the tipping point. And that's what the 100 monkey thing is, and everybody's doing it. So the more that we are peaceful, harmonious, loving, spiritual beings, generous, and that we speak it. It's not just, we can't just think it and do it. We got to speak it. We've got to share it with others as they are willing. We don't try to shove it down anybody's throat because they will spit it out right in our face. Okay. All right, let me just check my little. I know. I hope you guys understand. I cannot see the messages as they come up. Let's see. Science works if you understand that we are inside God's body. That is a beautiful way to put it. And it's also we can relate it to the cells in our own body. Every cell works together for the good of the whole. And since we are God's children, we are meant to be perfect. Okay, and we move on. So there's examples of this as we've been exploring in every area of our life. Um, we want to be debt free and get our finances in order, and every compelling reason to overspend hits like a tidal wave. So you get it. So when you declare something to be true and things come up for healing that make what you want harder, it's come up so you can get over it. It's a gift. I hope it sounds a little bit familiar for you. Um, Healing, the word heal, healed, whole, and holy all mean the same thing. They mean complete and perfected. And we're working on healing, we're working on becoming whole in our own lives. Okay. If we think about the story of Jesus healing the man on the mat near the healing pool of Bethesda, he had been there for 38 years. And Jesus asked him, "Do you want to be healed?" When the man told him he did, but couldn't find anyone to help him to get to the water, Jesus said, "Pick up your bed and walk." And he picked up his bed and walked and clearly was healed. There are many ways in our lives that we can be healed if we will pick up our bed and walk. We each have to do our part. We each have to do our spiritual work. Oh, I know we would love to help our kids be perfect, wouldn't we? We would love to help fix everybody. But spiritual growth is an inside job. All we can do is cheer them on and cheer ourselves on from the outside. Nobody can do our spiritual work for us. Now, we may feel so overwhelmed by the time and effort required to overcome old ways, but a simple shift in our thinking process and a single word can make it much easier. If you want to know how, turn your problems into projects. Turn your problems into projects. Um, I have slipped into, through my love of doing my videos and stuff, I have slipped into, not, I think I said it the other day, I have not written. I am a writer, and I haven't written in almost a year. And I've just been, well, I mean, I have been busy. I have been doing videos. I've been preparing little classes. I've been busy doing stuff, but I have not done the writing. So I took this problem that I wasn't getting back to writing and I turned it into a project. I just signed up for a writing competition. Now, I could get booted out in the first round. But participating in the first round, which is an 8-day project, will get me back. All I have to do is finish. All I have to do is finish. If I make it to the second round, I make it to the second round. If I don't, I just want to know that I finished those 8 days. So I took this problem and I turned it into a project because I had to take action because I was letting things slip away from me. I was very active in my own political way, learning more about politics, learning about consciousness of people that were falling subject to conspiracy theories, how do conspiracy theories happen. I went into studies about narcissism, and let me tell you something. I was very busy in a growing way. I was kind of like growing inside. And now I said, enough, enough. I've got my appointment for my first COVID vaccine, and I am going to get that on February 10th, Lord willing. And then 2, 3 weeks later, I will get my second shot. And then I'm going to go back to finishing my I'm narrating my book, The Secret of Sweetwater Stream. So I'll have that on Audible. So if you don't have a lot of time to read, you're going to be able to listen to it. It's like half done. And then along came COVID. So I'm praying, knowing that I'm going to get vaccinated in a timely manner and that I'm doing everything I can to take care of it now. And I'm going to be ready because I'm going to be working on that project of getting into the competition and at least going to the first round. Who knows what'll happen? It doesn't matter. I'm not in it for the prize. I'm in it for the practice. And they review your work and tell you what you did wrong. So I could deal with that. I used to hate it when somebody told me what I did wrong. And now I know it's such a gift because they're helping me make it better. All right. Where were we? Okay, so problems don't seem to ever end, but projects end. How do you like that one? Yep. Let's say we have a problem with anger. There's several things we can do. Turn our problem into a project. By establishing daily prayer time is a good start. Journaling every day, that helps. It lets us review the mistakes we've made, how we responded, what we could have done. And we have to remember when journaling to recognize our victories as well as our growth opportunities. It gives us a good chance to vent, but it's not all about venting. It's about venting, analyzing, and seeing what you can do to make it better next time. My mother was right when she told me I brought it on myself, and it's true today. We cause our own problems. We bring them on ourselves, individually and collectively. We talk about our democracy. We are free, but we forgot that with that freedom comes responsibility. We got arrogant. And so if God is going to bring up something for healing, and the disease, the issue, the problem we have is arrogance, thinking we are number one, we are the best, what are we going to get? We're going to get comeuppance and a real wake up call that we're not as on top of things as we thought. And I think we got that 2 weeks ago. We do cause our own problems. We bring it on ourselves, but it's not about blame. It's about cause, not blame and fault, cause and effect. It's impersonal. Okay, hang on. What is this? Oh yeah. So this is what happens is we did it when we chose to be non-participants or minimal participants. Ignorance is not bliss, and we cannot hide from truth. We can make up what we call truth, but that's not going to make it true. The mistakes we've made for years, whether in our personal lives, our country, or a world community, have come up for healing. While some of us put our energies of indifference and negligence, put out energies of indifference and negligence, others of wallowing, lying, allowing the cravings and emotions of the mortal mind to consume them. It's easy, but you don't have to live that way. So now our errors, might I say sins, cover us like hives. Did you ever have hives? Hives are not good. But what are hives? They're an infection, an irritation under the skin, and they're all over. You got to get rid of them. You got to clean up your body chemistry to make the hives go away. It's a systemic infection, begging the question, do I want to be healed? Do you want our country to be healed? Do you want it enough to do the things that are uncomfortable and inconvenient? Because that's the way it's going to be. If we want to heal, nobody's going to do it for us. We are a part of a greater whole. We cooperate with the higher powers, starting with God, of course. Unity's co founder Charles Fillmore said, "The mind of peace precedes all healing." And that's a really difficult thing to have sometimes, but I think we're going to need to get to that point, get to that mind of peace. That doesn't mean we don't do anything. It means we do what we have to do with peace, we respond rather than react. If we want healing, it's important to establish a mind of peace through prayer, affirmation, and anchoring our thoughts and feelings to faith in God, where we find the peace that passes understanding. It is really important that we learn to make new habits. Now, somewhere not too far along here, we're going to be talking about my prayer, my daily prayer life and my established prayer life. And when we do that, you're going to go into this more deeply. But I established a prayer habit when I first found Unity 35, going on 40 years ago. And shortly after, I started journaling. And I have got journals and journals and journals and journals. But in the beginning, the journals, I would just put down little about today, 2, 3 sentences. And then I started to get into it more. And then I start to process. And then I don't know, I just write down my life. And sometimes it's frustration. I talk to God a lot in my journals. I established a habit. My prayer time is a habit that I created that keeps me as grounded as I can be. My daughter in law said to me something one time that really touched my heart. She said, the one thing I really admire about you is how you take the hits and you just keep going. You pick yourself up and you keep on going. And you know what? That is not easy. But because I established a regular time to connect with God and um to pray, meditate, do my journaling, do my gratitude list, uh and to continuously study my Unity teachings. I have a Unity classic by my bedside all the time. It's always there. So you see what I did? I established a habit, and that habit that I established of daily prayer, meditation, that has kept me. Uh, it's kept me sane during a lot of the insanity that we've been going through, and I still have a lot of challenges. And so Um, I wonder how people that don't have an established prayer habit and a strong faith, I don't know how they make it. And I think sometimes that's why a lot of people are so into the conspiracy theories they can't get out, because they're afraid of what they don't know. So it's better sometimes to take something that you can kind of buy and deal with, than the unknown. But that's not the answer. The answer is the light. So, okay. Um, Oh, the book without, okay. Ooh, I can't wait. Can you purchase it on Amazon now? Are you talking about The Secret of Sweetwater Stream? It's currently, I'm doing the audio and then I'm going to upload a new uh, um, print version. You know, I'm going to upload it for print. I had to take it down when I let go of my publisher, and because she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing. And so I said, the heck with this, I can do it on my own. So, yeah, I would say if I start going back to the narrating, um, I would say it'll probably be 2, 3 months from now. It's all written. I'm just doing the narrating, and the sour grapes on silver platters. I'm just waiting to finish the cover. It's all ready to go. I had someone that I really wanted to be on the cover. I picked her out, and I got her all set up, and then came COVID. Well, man, when that COVID's gone, we are going to be boogieing, aren't we? I tell you. So that's it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about confession is good for the soul. Mm. Do you think we'll have any confessions from what? Probably. You want to talk about my life as an open book? You know about people that are afraid someone's going to snoop on their life? I'm more like, there it is. See if you can make any sense out of that. Okay, well, for now, you have a wonderful rest of your day today, a great tomorrow, and I will look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for being here. Glad you made it, Cheryl, even if it was late. God bless and good night, my dear friends.